Hello guys, my name is St4mos and today I represent to you my Lunalight deck profile. Lunalights are a series of Beast Warrior type monsters that they fusion summon their biggest monster, that is Lunalight Leo Dancer, and they try to OTK their opponents. So without further ado, let's begin. First we play 3 Endangered Dogman. Dogman is a monster that you reveal it in your hand, and then your opponent randomly chooses one card or your entire hand if it's only one card. And then when they discard a card other than Dogman, you special summon him on the field and you draw one card. But if this card is discarded, you can have all the face-up monsters your opponent currently controls lose 1000 attack until the end of this turn. So that means they decrease the enemy's attack position monsters, and so we can pass them by with the effect of Lunalight Leo Dancer and potentially win the game. Next, we play 3 Lunalight Wolf. Wolf is a monster that it has a pendulum and a normal monster effect. That the pendulum effect, it's when you scale it, you can only special summon a Lunalight monster by this effect, and that effect cannot be negated. Once per turn, you can fusion summon one Lunalight fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from the field or graveyard. So it's our miracle polymerization target, and also the monster effect is that when a Lunalight monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict a battle piercing damage. Most of the time we prefer it the special summon effect because it's so good in this deck. Next we play 1 Lunalight Blue Cat. Blue Cat is a monster that it has a very good defense potential and also TK potential, because if this card is special summoned, you can target one Lunalight monster you control except Lunalight Blue Cat. Its attack becomes double its original attack until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Lunalight Blue Cat once per turn. If this card is on the field, is destroyed by battle or card effects, you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your deck. It doesn't specifically say anything, you can special summon anything from your deck, and also it's very nice to have as a one-off to OTK the opponent. Next we play 3 Kaleido Chick, the most important card in the deck, because it has so many effects. So first of all, it's searchable with Tenki, and also when it's used for a fusion material, you take one polymerization from your graveyard and add it to your hand. Also, when you can banish this monster from your graveyard, and if this card is banished, you can activate this effect. This turn, your opponent cannot activate cards and effect, and cannot be activated only that battle phase. So that means we abuse here, and also the most important effect of all them all is the first, that you say a Lunalight name either from your deck, main deck or extra deck, and you send that specific Lunalight monster to the graveyard. So that means we wish her most of the time to special summon Leo Dancer with less materials as possible, and also sometimes you prefer to send a Yellow Martin or an Emerald Bird to the graveyard to special summon a monster from your deck. Next we play 2 Lunalight Emerald Bird, because when she's normal special summoned, you can send one Lunalight monster from your hand or graveyard, and if you do, you draw one card. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one of level 4 or lower Lunalight monster that is banished or in your graveyard, except this monster and special summon it in defense position, but negate its effects. Most of the times, those effects are once per turn and only once on a monster effect. This is a monster that only has once per name effect, but she's very good because we can search a lot of our stuff and go into our plays. Next, we play 2 Lunalight Yellow Martin. Yellow Martin is a monster that when she's in the hand or in the graveyard, you target one Lunalight card you control, except Lunalight Yellow Martin, and return it to the hand. And if you do, you special summon this card in the defense position, but you banish it when she leaves the field. Now, the other effect is that if this card is sent to a graveyard by a card effect, you can add one Lunalight spell and trap from your deck to your hand. That means anything from your Lunalight ceremony, I think, and also Lunalight fusions and all that. You cannot search Lunalight perfume though, because she's spelling different, and it's not combine the words Luna and Light. It's Lunalight perfume. So she is the most important target in the deck, as well as the Kaleido Chick. because she brings the spells in our hand. Next, we play 2 Lunalight Butterfly. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. She's like an Alistair. And you target one land monster you control, it gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. Also, the other effect that is very nice and very neat, that we use it to special summon Blue Cat most of the time, it's that you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one land monster from your hand. That means you can special summon Kaleido Chicks and Yellow Martins or anything that you like, but Blue Cat is the most important target with this build. Next, we play for the last of the monsters, 3 Lunalight Black Sheep. Black Sheep is a card that you can discard to activate one of these effects. Add 1 Lunalight monster from your graveyard to your hand. Very nice, very simple. The other is, add 1 Polymerization from your deck to your hand. That's the most key effect, I think, of those two, but also it has a third very nice effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can add to your hand 1 face-up Lunalight Pendulum monster from your extra deck or 1 Lunalight monster from your graveyard except Black Sheep. So, she returns back your Pendulum Scales. We only have at this format only Wolf. The other, that is Lunalight Tiger, is banned at this time that I am recording this video. So, if she returns, it's very nice, very good, and it provides a lot of support in the deck. Next, we play 1 Foolish Burial to send our Lunalight monsters in the grave. 3 Foolish Burial Goods goes Lunalight Perfume, and also another trap that I am using. It's very good in the graveyard, at least as a one-off. So, yeah, bear with me on that. Next, we play 3 Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness is a card that you draw 2 cards and then you remove from play 1 dark monster in your hand. If you don't have any dark monsters and you use this effect, send all cards from your hand to the graveyard. So most of the time we have our Lunalight monsters and they are all dark, and even the wolves and the Endangered Dogman is dark. So it has a lot of support, and also most of the time we don't banish anything. Next, we play the most broken card in the deck, Lunalight Perfume. This is a card that many people, even me, consider that it's one of the best, I think, cards in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh card game, because it has a lot of things for this specific archetype. First, you target 1 Lunalight monster in your graveyard, spell summon it. So it's very easy. It doesn't have any restrictions, so you can bring back fusions if you can. Also, it is a free monster reborn, but also does something else in this card text. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then discard 1 card. Add 1 Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. So that means it revives for free, basically, a Lunalight monster, and then you can banish this card and discard 1. So many consider this as a minus, but it's not in this deck, to add 1 Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. So that means always you have the combos, and also you play less copies of Polymerizations and other fusions cards because of this card alone. So it's very nice and very good. In every Lunalight build you will see it as a 3-off, and no one else sees it as 1-off or anything like that. Next, we play 2 Polymerizations to fusion summon a monster from using monsters from the field or hand. Very self-explanatory. Next, we play 2 Lunalight Fusion to search with Yellow Martin. First, you fusion summon 1 Lunalight Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. So it's like a normal poly, but it has another effect. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can use 1 Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck as the fusion material. So that means we send Panther the Dancer to the graveyard as one of the materials, and we send another material to provide for our Lunalight Leo Dancer and go for the game. Next, we play 1 Dark Hole to destroy all monsters on the field. It's not so bad for us, but for the opponent most certainly is a problem. Next, we play 1 Monster Reborn to bring back 1 monster that we lose or anything like that, or anything that we want to proceed. Next, we play 3 Tenki to search our Beast Warrior monsters. It searches all the monsters but not the Dogman, because he's not the monster from the archetype, and it also doesn't searches Lunalight Wolf, but it's very good to open the game and also have a Kaleido Chick in the hand as soon as possible. And last card of the deck is 1 Lost Wind. Because this card, it's very nice if you send it to the graveyard as a discard fodder for Lunalight Perfume, but if you set it as well, it's very good. What it does, it targets one special summon monster on the field, negate its effects. Also, its original attack is halved. So that's one way to negate an effect and pass it by with Leo Dancer. That means it negates not passive effects, it negates all the other effects that provide. Like, for example, if you play Lunalight Leo Dancer and the opponent has a monster like Crystal Wing, he cannot gain the attack and also he will lose the process. So it's very good in that regard. And also, if a monster is special summoned from your opponent's extra deck, while this card is in your graveyard, for once you can set this card from the graveyard back to the field. So it's a very nice card to have in every situation. I don't play more of this because Lunalight is a combo based deck, and so we play only one to send by Foolish Burial Goods and potentially draw it and set it. But all the others, I think that's why you play one copy, because multiples of this is dead in this deck specific build. Next we play, for the extra deck, that was the main deck, we play 2 Lunalight Leo Dancer, the most important monster of this entire build. It's that it must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials, which means 1 Lunalight Panther Dancer and 2 Lunalight monsters. So that means Kaleido Chick most of the time becomes the Lunalight Panther Dancer that I will showcase later. But what this card does is that it cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. She can destroy by battle, but card effects and cannot be targeted, it's way too difficult for this modern Yu-Gi-Oh! To pass by. But this card can make a second attack during each battle phase, so it has 2 attacks, but hear out this effect. Once per turn, at the end of the damage step, if this card attacked a monster, you can destroy all special summoned monsters your opponent controls. You attack the lowest monster that the opponent has, or that is normal summoned, or anything like that, and then you destroy all special summoned monsters your opponent controls, to attack once again in a row. So she's an OTK enabler and a very good example of a monster that is so good that the entire build is around it. Next we play 2 Lunalight Saber Dancer. Saber Dancer needs 3 Lunalight monsters and must be fusion summoned first. It gains 200 attack for each Beast Warrior monster that is banished or in the graveyard. So that means you and your opponents. Also, you cannot target this card with card effects. Your opponent as well. Your opponent cannot target this with card effects. And during your main phase, except this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card and from your graveyard to target 1 fusion monster you control. It gains 3000 attack until the end of the turn. So it's a very good OTK enabler, and also the second monster that will go most of the time in case we cannot fulfill the requirements to go to a Lunalight Leo Dancer. So we play 2 Lunalight Panther Dancer. Panther Dancer requires Lunalight Cat Dancer and 1 Lunalight monster. She has a protection effect from spell effects, and also she has 2 attacks in each battle phase. And if this card is not destroyed, she can revive another monster and battle it, and she gains 200 attack for each battle phase. So, but yeah, we don't use it most of the time. We use it here as a climb material to our Leo Dancer. Next we play 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, because we prefer to have 2 darks in the field. It's very easy. And also to steal effects or nuke the entire board, monster board, it's very important. Next we play 2 Lunalight Cat Dancer, the most basic Lunalight monster, just 2 Lunalight monsters, and also she can attack twice each monster that the opponent controls, and she does 100 attack damage, inflicted damage to your opponent. So it's very good, and she's not the best. We use her again as a climb or a link way to go to our Leo Dancer as fast as possible. Next we play 1 Drill Driver Vespenado. Vespenado is a monster that you can exist summon using a 4 monster that you control, 4 rank monster you control, and also this card cannot be used on exist material if it is exist summoned that way. Also you transfer the materials from that monster to this card. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. So that means by having 2500 attack, we can do a little bit of damage to finish off our opponents, because most of the cases, Lunalight, Leo Dancer or Parthen Dancer will have a lot of attack points, but they will not finish the opponent. So this monster is very good to go into, and also when it dies, while it's in our control, you can target one level 5 or lower monster in your graveyard, spell summon it. So that means it spell summon all of our monsters, but not our Lunalight wolves and also Danger Dogman. So it's very good, very nice, and in most of the builds I think you should use this because it's a very cheap and very nice monster to have at one at least. Next we play one Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. Tiger King is a monster that it requires 2 level 4 Beast Warrior monsters, and also when it's XYZ summoned you can target one fire formation spell and set it directly from your deck into the field. Most of the time you use it to search a Tenki, because it's the only target in this deck, and also you can when this card is okay. So when this card is XYZ summoned, you can set one fire formation spell and trap directly from your deck. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, negate the effects of all face-up effect monsters currently on the field except Beast Warrior type. So that means we have a little bit of a stun in the form of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. And also, when this card is sent from a field to a graveyard, you can send 3 fire formation spell and traps you control to the graveyard to spell summon 2 level 4 Beast Warrior monsters with the same attack from your deck. But we don't have the Tenkis to use this effect, so we only use the first effect. Next we play one Firefighting Durama Doll. It's a very neat card. It doesn't do a lot nowadays, since it became very popular over the years, but once per turn, what's the best thing is that once per turn you can target one spell and trap in each field, destroy them. So this card was very nice to use with the Tenkis, and also it provides a little bit of an MST effect, so it provides a little bit of a support to bring out a Leo Dancer easier. And also we play 2 Underclock Taker to press for a little bit of damage, because it targets one monster that it points to and decreases the attack of a face-up monster your opponent controls equal to this attack, the attack of that monster. And also one Cross Ship, because it has a lot of effects, but most of the time we use the fusion effect in this specific build, that when you fusion summon a monster, you can spell summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. So it's good to recycle our Kaleido Chicks, and also by using XYZ summons, we make all the monsters your opponent controls lose 700 attack. That's kind of dependable, but most of the time the fusion effect is the best effect that you can have in the entire deck. So that was the deck profile, a little bit of a story. Lunalight, it's a deck that I received and built over the years for my girl to play the game. She never played the game, but she supports me in my work. So it makes me a little bit of, I think, the most happy man in the world, because it's very good to have a support. And also, even if someone doesn't want to play, you can have them in your life and they will admire you and be very supportive about what you love, what's your passion. So thanks again, and thank you, Marina, when you see the video. Have a nice day to all of you guys. See you again.